And I yield the floor to our Lieutenant Grand Governor, Sheik Naziyr Ali Il. Islam fans.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
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 As I rise, all praise due to Allah, and highest honors to his prophet Noble Ali. I want to give honors to the Moorish flag, the forerunner of the prophet Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Brother Emily Ill as well. I want to give honors to all temples in the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 19, Office of the Grand Governor, and especially the Ills and Bays. Islam?
Islam.
All right. First of all, we're going to turn to chapter 47. That's where we're going to draw from initially. Before we get started, I want to give a special, happy birthright to our chairman and our grand governor, who both had birthrights this week. One of the twins at the temple, number 19.
Praise Allah.
They're both Libras, and so you see what I have to go through. That's how I got all these gray hairs and stuff dealing with these two. Help me, please. All right. Right. I'm the lone Aquarius in this equation. But definitely, happy birthright. Inshallah, we'll see you again this next rotation. We'll do this again. All right. All right. Free licks after the meeting. Wait till after the meeting. All right. We're gonna go to verse number 9. We're gonna start there, chapter 47. Should be page 88, depending on which illustration you're at. All right, chapter 47, verse 9. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan. 10. And these next two are definitive laws. Number 10. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who was able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. 12. These holy and divine laws are from the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let's skip down to 15. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess its own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored were given to the Asiatics of America, who were of Moorish descent, because they honor not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. It is definitely important that we recognize our times and the important things that happen to us in history. The one interesting thing about this is that, as the brother Sarum read, he talks about the A-Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nations. It didn't say of the Moorish nations, right?
That's right.
The same issues that happened to us here happen to everybody that looks kind of sort of like us, right? So you can say, well, this is a thing for the Moorish Americans. However, seeing as how we have, brothers from what we would call the Israelite nation as well, you best believe they stripped you just like they stripped us at the exact same time. Those things that are important to us and that were stripped from us, and those things that are important to you all were stripped from you all just the same. And we were given bywords. We were given kind of sort of names. Something that, diluted to ownership. The second most interesting thing about it is the second they took us from out of these places and took us away from our names, they stuck themselves in those places. That is very important. The European does that every time. It don't matter what your religious ideology is, your cultural norms, what you've done through history, everything that you have done, they've taken you out and they've stuck themselves in there. That's how the European validates itself, right? Because we know that the European has done nothing of benefit to this world at any point in time.
That's right.
Ever.
That's right.
All right? Except for destruction. I mean, he can destroy some stuff. Right? It's good at that. Going to the event in Philadelphia, number one, I would like to give honor to the members of Temple Number 19 that went.
That's right.
Because we were on our best behavior the whole time.
Praise
I
Allah.
had no problems with the Moors. The Moors was extra. I didn't have to do nothing. All I had to do was sit back and just watch them go. You know, so you know, I definitely want to give you all the credit, no matter what you held. Just the same, we went into an environment that was different than what we're used to, right? Temple Number 19 had a long-standing policy of not really dealing with other Moorish groups like that. Having our members go to other Moorish temples. Not because, we thought that somebody would be telling the truth. Truth and we're lying or something like that. That's not the problem. The problem comes down to customs and traditions. Temples have their own customs. Not every temple looks like this temple or does stuff that Temple number 19 does. We have our own stuff, right? So, and in that, I especially have an issue with taking my wife places where I'm not comfortable at. I don't like to bring her to too much stuff. So what and this was different. We went out there. Me and the brother Raphael went in first, checked it out.
That's right.
Make sure all is well. Talked with the security, made sure what is happening, what's not happening. Now we can bring our wives in.
That's right.
And our others in. Future, right?
That's right.
And we had a good time. I mean, short and simple of it, the Moors, we didn't know what to really expect, they didn't know what to really expect, and Temple Number 11 showed out. I give they showed out. It is what it is.
That's right.
All the brothers and sisters were really cool, especially the Moors that came from other temples. Everybody was in a higher ether the whole time. It's interesting because I'm glad that the Moors went before me and let us know that they talked to other nationals of other descents. Because I had my sunglasses on when we was out there. I was posted up. I look over to my left. I see both of my brothers hemmed up by this European woman, taking selfies and doing all kinds of stuff. I was like, oh, they were sold out in the middle of Remembrance Day, right here. And not only that, at the end of the meeting, at the end of the trek, another one of my brothers here got hemmed up for a long time. That would be brother Raphael. Sheik, right? Yeah, we take your name, bro. No, and the one interaction we had with an Asiatic, unfortunately, was somebody who tried to cause confusion out there. Luckily, happily the Moors held, because we had a meeting before then, so we knew what to do, so the Moors held or whatever. But that was the one person that decided to make their presence known, was somebody who tried to cause confusion out there, but it was all right. Also, there's a brother and sister that got obligated out there as well. I mean, it was a full weekend. I was tired. I didn't want to see Moors for a minute after I was done with this meeting. I ain't gonna lie. And it's very important. It's always good to see the Moors. It's always good to be among brothers who, unfortunately, on Facebook have a problem. But you see, it's not as much a problem when brothers see each other face to face. And know that those things aren't real things. We have something definitive that we have to do. This date is very important. It should be important to everybody who's melanated. But we'll get to that point. We'll definitely get there. Being in Philadelphia, which is a largely Islamic city, they have the largest concentration of Asiatic Muslims is in Philadelphia. And I ain't gonna gloat too much, but they did recognize the brothers when they came in the spot. I ain't gonna say nothing about that, but they knew who we were when we came in, and went around Philadelphia. You can see it. I mean, it's always more comfortable when you see a sharp contrast to what we have. And we're looking to build an Islamic community here in Atlanta.
That's right.
In Philly, it is ingrained in everything they do.
That's right.
And it's strong.
That's right.
You know, everybody, there's nothing but beards out there. It is nothing to see, you know, sisters covered up. It's not a thing. Because right now, one of our issues is that our sisters are having is that, you know, sisters got to work and go out in the world. And how do they go out in the world? Do they go out in the world as who they are, or do they have to fall back a little bit and take on a more European look, for lack of a better term? You know, we have that issue here. There they didn't have that issue. It was nothing. When it comes to the laws that we've read, one of the interesting things that I put up a video in our study group. I'm not sure if anybody saw it. It was about Muslims in South Africa. They have they have a growing Islamic community, right? The people that are there, there's some that are African, Native Asiatics, right? You have people from India as well, and you have people from Europe. And as they come here, they come here to South Africa, and they're born generationally in South Africa. They're coming into an identity crisis of who they are. Like one Indian sister was like, I know I'm from India, but I'm acclimated to everything that's South African. I've never been to India. So how can I call myself a true Indian? She was coming up with all kind of names. She said a Muslim, South African, Muslim Indian. She was trying to come up with all kind of different names and titles to call herself. So this is not an issue that is solely on us. The issue with us is that we were stripped from it. It seems like they're giving away their nationality.
That's right.
Another thing is that when we deal with the idea of being a Muslim or Muslim, is that I've talked to Muslims of other nations, and by their tongue, they swear off the nation that they were born in, right? They wanted to get on me about calling myself a Moorish American. How can you call yourself a Moorish American? You're supposed to just be a Muslim, right? That's it. Well, where are you from? I'm from Jordan. Okay, so you're Jordanian. No, I'm not. I'm a Muslim. So they've sworn off everything that is what, you know. I'm pretty sure you have something to come back out. But these Muslims are serious about giving up who they are to take on ideals of someone else. Specifically of being South African. They didn't say African now. They said South African. And we all know about that in Afrikaners and things like that. But you know, even those Dutch and Europeans are writing off the ideals of being who they are to take on the ideals of someone else. With us, I mean, we have an easy answer for that. You know, the answer is no.
That's not.
You know, if you're Indian, you're Indian. It is what it is. You know, for us, it's the same thing. You know, and we understand that racially, not every Asiatic or so-called black person, for those who don't know what I'm saying, is a Moor. Not everybody is. Not everybody came through that process, right? But by being a Moorish American, everybody that looks like us can be a part of that political system. You understand it's two different things at the same time.
That's right.
Now, while we have while we talk about the descendants of Canaanites, you know, being the true inhabitants of Africa, things of that nature, you know, a little look into history, you'll definitely see what we're talking about when it comes to what is defined as Africa. At what point in time are you talking about? When had the Europeans traversed all of Africa to know that it's Africa, right? So, you know, just those ideas. I don't want to get too deep into it. We're going to keep it quick tonight. Any questions, any vibrations? Good? You clear? All right, check it, sis. I'll leave you as I came in peace. Islam, family.
That's not.